Hi everyone. In this video I'm going to answer some of the questions that you have kindly submitted to me over the past couple of weeks. As some of you might recall, I'd asked on my Facebook page if anyone would like to ask me a question about the book, about writing. So I'm very grateful to those of you that have sent over a question to me. I'm just going to run through those questions and I'll answer them. So here we go. So the first question is, when you have two conflicting accounts during research, do you go with the one that provides the best story, or the one that sounds more historically accurate? That's quite a difficult question. I had to have a think about this. I suppose my inner historian always wants to get to the truth, insofar as that's ever possible, which of course it quite often isn't. When I'm researching a particular topic for a novel, I do try to corroborate the facts insofar as we know them through multiple sources. And of course, at times, this means I do come across conflicting information. Quite often as well, I come across the fact that there isn't so much of conflict, there's just an absence of information. That's where my imagination has to come in, and I will fill in the gaps left in the historical record with what I think might have happened. I suppose ultimately, whether it's a conflict or an absence of information, I'm ultimately looking to write the best story, which means choosing the version which best serves the plot. But I do like to highlight these conflicts and these absences of information to the reader in my historical note at the end of each book, just so that, and I'll often state as well, what I opted for, and sometimes a wee word about why that might be as well. Okay, so thank you for that question. The next question is, who is your favourite character in The Wax Artist? That's a tough choice. Ailsa, obviously, is my protagonist. I really enjoyed developing her backstory in France, as well as her life now in Scotland. I suppose in modern terms, we'd probably consider her to be a refugee. And it did give me pause for thought to contemplate how difficult that must be, to have come from one world and to have to try and carve out a life in another, very different one, in much reduced circumstances as well. But if I have to pick a favourite, I would say it's Angus. He's a town guardsman and just an all round nice guy. And I'm really looking forward to seeing Angus again in book 2. So thank you for that question. The last question I received, and thank you for this one as well, was, what was your favourite thing about writing this book? This one's probably the easiest question to answer because it was the escapism. I wrote The Wax Artist during a really difficult time, not just for me, but for the world in general. I really loved spending time with my characters, and I really enjoyed delving into Georgian Edinburgh, just to, quite literally transport myself to a different world for a while was immensely enjoyable, and much needed, to be honest. It was also exciting to set out writing this book, knowing that it's the first in a series, and that I'll get to spend many more hours with Ailsa and Angus and quite a number of the other characters who will be returning for the second instalment. Watch this space. So thank you very much for those questions. Really very much appreciated that you took the time to send me those over. And I hope that I have given you some good answers there. So thank you very much. Bye.